Welcome to Beef Six Podcast.
Beef six. Where's the tea? Oh, it's in our
It's in our
mugs.
mugs.
Oh, folks, it's a rough time for your friends, Pasty White and Fat Mac.
And we're not even living close to each other anymore, so you can't say we're both sick from sucking each other's dicks. It's not
Right,
feasible.
right. And
A year
and this
ago,
is
you could have said that.
and this is a shoot. This is not a work, folks. This is a shoot. We are legitimately sick with bronchial and sinal. Let's say sinal. Bronchial and sinal shit. My son also has it, and his mother has it. And my niece has it. So there's a whole shebang of folks that have it. I got my happy sick blanket around me. It makes me happy because it's yellow and gray.
I got my happy sick cigarette in my hand. I like it because,
Yeah, that's good for a bronchial cold.
hey, fuck you, and I'm an adult. When I'm sick, it stresses me out and it makes me want more cigarettes.
I do like hot tea, but I don't drink it a lot. But man, during the cold season, it's great.
Toss yourself some brandy in that bitch.
I would if I had some. I do not.
Whew.
It would be good. It would be good. It would be good.
I thought about drinking a beer tonight, but nah.
So we don't know exactly what we'll give you for a show, folks. It's gonna be a good show. We're gonna pick it up. I mean, we can put it on a little bit. You know, we can be on.
It's sitting
I can
here
be more
and talking,
on than I am
man.
now.
Sitting here and talking. We can handle that.
Yeah. So I can be on a little bit. But we also there wasn't a lot of news this week and not a whole lot going on. So we'll just give you what we give you of the show. And you know what you don't get, you don't get. Why did I? Oh man. I just closed some tabs I didn't want to. I'm going to reopen them now.
If you're viewing us on YouTube, you will notice that once again we have a new background for the show this week. I felt it was only fitting that if we're not feeling well, we have the floating mouths to spread it to the rest of you, so you can share with us in this.
How long ago was that?
Quite some time ago.
Must be.
Long ago, in a planet far, far away, there existed a small company called Monster Wear Clothing. And they made the most brilliant vinyl car decals you'd ever seen in your life. The attention to detail is just spot on and perfect. Until one day the Empire came in and told them, you can't do this anymore. You can't do this. And they said, fuck you. And they rebelled. And they started making t-shirts and hockey masks and kept on with the vinyl. And you
They'll
can
do
buy
that.
their products today. Monster Wear Clothing. Hit up my buddy Corey Matthews at Monster Wear Clothing on Facebook.com. Let him know B-Stick sent you. He'll hook you up with a sweet deal. Some might say, too sweet?
Too sweet.
Too sweet.
Don't forget to support your local half-dead friends by going to our Patreon page, patreon.com/cloudstyle. Check us out. Support us. Help you improve the show. Maybe buy some cold pills or some more tea or some brandy for the tea, perhaps. That could always help.
I tell you what, you
Also,
donate to the show, you can tell us which remedies to use. Make it up. Does it have to be a legit remedy? No. You're in control.
But we'll do it.
You give us your
live
money,
on
we will
air.
do it.
Live on
that
air.
Makes us webcam girls or prostitutes or something.
It's all right. I've spent some time as a prostitute, and I made some good money. Also, don't forget GoFundMe. If you go to the GoFundMe.com, search Cloud Style Broadcasting, and you can support us from GoFundMe. Get a lot of help there. Every little bit helps. Now, with that, suppose we can get into the news.
The news.
The news. Matt Hardy fixed? Did WWE fix Matt Hardy? Well, they might have, because if you watch last week's Raw, it looks as if perhaps Matt Hardy got broken. How can
Well,
you
it
be
would break
fixed
a
by
man
being
to
broken?
be pinned by the Eater of Pins. Apparently, Bray Wyatt wasn't hungry that night.
It's pretty rough. He was doing the delete motions, and I think it was, I want to say it was Michael Cole had the line, "Is Matt Hardy at his breaking point?"
Right.
So, I'm almost sick of talking about the whole broken universe because we've done it ever since our existence of Beef Sticks podcast, probably from the very first episode to this one. But, you know what? Anthem Sports, the owners of Impact Wrestling, have announced that they are no longer going to fight for the trademark of Broken and the other various trademarks that they had. As Pasty White pointed out, there is we believe it's a 30 or 90 day clause in there where anybody else can contest it. It's not a clause, but there's a contesting time limit where, like, say, Jeremy Borash, they have said, has been in help with it. Billy Corgan, they said, came up with it. So if either one of them want to try to contest it and get the trademark, they could. I don't see that happening, but they could contest it. And depending on what reports you read, WWE isn't interested in bringing the actual Broken gimmick, but putting their own little twist on it and making it their own thing. That sounds right, because if all this goes down, Matt Hardy will probably own the Broken franchise, and they probably don't want him owning what they do.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, this could go a lot of ways. They've teased it before. I'd say they've teased it even harder than this before.
Yeah.
But I think the fact that Impact Wrestling and Anthem Sports have come out and said that they're no longer contesting, that's what's got everybody talking. Now, is it because that came out that they just decided to pull this angle and get some people talking? That's always possible also. It could be WWE just hopping on it.
It could be. Well, there's only one way to find out, and that's to continue to watch week after week.
That's asking a lot, Loke. That's asking a lot.
It's a chore. It's a chore.
It's a chore. It sure is a chore. I'm excited for it, though. I'm excited to see where it goes. If they're smart, they'll do what I said from the beginning, and they'll just hand him a fucking pad of paper and a pen and say, fucking write you.
Right.
You know what I mean? If they're smart, they'll do that. They won't. But maybe they can let him write him and then meet with Vince, and Vince will put his tweaks on it.
They could do
and
that,
maybe
though. I
he
mean,
can make something better.
They're pretty good about letting the veterans kind of have a little bit more creative freedom. A little bit.
Excuse me, folks. That's not pretty. Have they really? Have they?
I'm pretty sure nobody writes for John Cena.
Matt Hardy is no John Cena by no means.
But broken Matt Hardy is.
That being said, I'm pretty sure they do write bullet points for John Cena. They just don't script it out completely like they do some people.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if they just have John Cena go out there and say what he wants.
I definitely think there's bullet points. Make sure you mention this, in the next pay-per-view. And then you fill in the blanks from there.
And put this line in.
They give him
there's always like
a 3-page book of Mad Libs.
Right? I was gonna say, because there's always a couple lines in there that were written exactly from Vince, and you can tell when he's saying them.
Right.
A lot of people you can. I mean, a lot of people seem like they're completely scripted, but every now and then they say something, and you're like, no human being says that. They wrote that out word for word. Bray Wyatt, that's called his whole fucking thing. That's everything he says. Read off a fucking teleprompter. Hey, I'm happy to see the Bludgeon Brothers.
Yeah.
This is their second week, and they're making them look strong. I love their outfits. Some people don't like them. I love that kind of maroon burgundy, whatever it is.
I do like it. They look good.
And if you've noticed, when they put their hammers down, those hammers look like they have some weight to them. So I mean, I don't think they're real hammers, but they might be like rubber mallet hammers, which would have a lot of heft to them and would hurt if you got hit by them.
Right. You think
I don't think
anybody's
they're
ever going to
stone
get hit by
mallets.
them?
Who is?
You think anybody's ever going to get hit by them?
Oh, I hope so. Why have them if not?
Right. There's no point to the gimmick.
That would be like having a fucking no DQ match and then saying that a certain wrestler can't come to the ring, or what are you gonna do? Disqualify him?
I'm so glad the internet was wrong when they had thought that WWE had sacked Bludgeon Brothers the week before they were supposed to debut.
Yeah, I'm glad that they were wrong about that. I am also, because I mean, give it some time to fail or work. It might fail, but give it some time. Let it fail on its own. If it does, I don't want it to.
And if we're gonna talk about the Bludgeon Brothers, we got to talk about the Fashion Files.
Fashion Files
segment.
Yeah, it really looks like they're not going the Bludgeon Brothers route on.
I don't know. The guy in the mask, that was totally Luke Harper's hair behind the mask. Just saying.
He was super thin, man. He was super thin.
It was dark.
Oh no.
Black is
okay.
We
have to
that.
we have to talk about the fucking elephant in the room. So WWE showed the fucking why did I want to call them the acolytes? Why can't I think of their names now? The guys that are like the acolytes.
The Ascension?
Ascension, thank you. WWE showed the Ascension get killed on TV.
Yeah, they did.
This is the second time in like a couple months that they've showed
save
somebody die.
We'll gladly die for our best friends. We're not friends. Goodbye, Connor. Awesome. Goodbye, Vincent.
Bye.
It's Victor.
That was awesome. It was great. It was great. I liked the whole Saw thing. I thought it worked well. I don't remember there being any noxious gas in Saw, so I don't know where. I mean, if that was just WWE pulling something out.
They cheaped out. They wanted to keep the segment short. They had to cheap it out. How do you do that?
But
toxic gas.
But yeah, they just let them sit there and die. So WWE is taking some notes from Lucha Underground, which has had people actually die on air. And I'm not talking about shoot. I'm talking about work. But they've had people get shot with guns, and they've had people get murdered and break their necks, and just like a soap opera would. So it looks like WWE's doing that. They had Braun Strowman go in a trash compactor in a fucking garbage truck.
Killed a guy on air.
He got murdered on air in the back of a fucking garbage truck, then somehow came back 2 weeks later in a different truck in the driver's seat. What the fuck was that about? That's magic.
He wasn't even in the driver's seat. He came out from the back of the garbage truck. It opened up. All the garbage came out. Here comes Braun. In the most cheesy, like, 90s Ninja Turtles movie, enemy return of all time. It was great.
Right. No, that was great. I'm glad they're keeping up with the Fashion Files. Actually, while I was watching it, I literally
just want
said
to know how
my
many
son,
garbage companies are filling up a garbage truck, taking it to another garbage truck, going ass to ass with them and pushing all the garbage from one truck to another. Where are they taking all this garbage? Selling it to China?
Could be. No, didn't you watch? You haven't watched Thor Ragnarok yet?
No.
There's a universe that takes other people's garbage and they get money for it.
A whole universe?
And that's yeah, it's a whole universe, and that's where the Hulk is the champion, and he ends up fighting Thor in a badass battle.
Nice.
That's where Jeff Goldblum is the leader there, and he's awesome.
Excellent.
As
I
Jeff
do
Goldblum
have to
is.
watch that. Did you catch the Avengers trailer?
The Infinity Wars trailer?
Yeah, buddy.
I didn't. I seen it was on there, but I haven't watched it. Does it look good?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I watched the trailer. It was a little lackluster. It's like all the Avengers each taking a line from Nick Fury's speech from the first Avengers movie about uniting superheroes to do the things that humanity can't, and
There you go.
they all sound depressed while they're doing it. And there's a bunch of pictures of everybody looking depressed, and like, I mean, we're fairly certain Iron Man's gonna die in this movie. I think
Well,
that's
I'm
the rumorings
not
and the
this movie,
mumblings
the
is that his
second one.
contract is up.
The second one.
Second one?
The second one.
Okay.
Yeah. Because there's Infinity Wars 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And pretty much most of the original ones being Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, and Hulk. Most of them, their contracts are up after that. So, and maybe some of the other ones. So it'd be a good time for them to reboot all the franchises, get some people killed off, have some other people take their place. It happens in the comics all the time.
Yeah,
You
I'm
can-
not looking
you can
forward
s-
to it because when I get used to somebody as a superhero, I like that person as a superhero.
Yeah, but sometimes it just goes on a little too long, and you just
Like,
got to
it's not
give
going
it
to be
up, man.
Tony Stark as Iron Man. They're going to pass it down to Don Cheadle.
Or somebody, yeah. Probably somebody new. But it should be good. It should be good. I'm excited for the new. What is this, Phase 4? No, they're on Phase 3 now, so they'll
Yeah.
be going into Phase 4 after Infinity Wars.
Yep.
So they haven't. What do they got? Black Panther, and then Infinity Wars,
Yep.
and then I think there's a couple. Well, I know there's a couple movies. I think there's a Ant-Man and Wasp movie.
Yes, there is.
Is there another Captain movie?
I don't know if it's Captain. I think there's another.
There is another Thor movie.
Yeah.
Thor 4. I just want them to call it that. Thor 4.
They should just call it 4, spelt out with a TH. THOUR.
Oh, we got way off the WWE train here.
It's okay, we're
We
sick.
really need. I know we need to get our show going so we can talk this shit out on our other show. Ball talk. Miz. The Miz was on Sam Roberts' wrestling podcast.
Oh, he was on
And he talked
Sam
to
Roberts
LeVar-
and what's his face? They're
Oh, he was on Jim and Sam.
yeah, Jim and Sam.
Which is, by the way, a much better show. But if you want only wrestling stuff, the Sam Roberts podcast is good. But Jim and Sam is just great, and you know, a lot of it has to go to Jim Norton. I don't think there's anybody
Jim
out there
wasn't
that don't
there.
love Jim Norton.
He was out of the office that day. It was just Miz and Sam
That's kind of a bummer. But I love Jim Norton.
and a brother of the African persuasion.
Jim Norton taught me a valuable lesson in life, and that is you can get blown by a dude. Just don't look them in the eye the first time. I mean, and that's words to live by, folks. You can get blown by another dude. You can get blown by a transvestite. Just don't look them in the eye the first time.
Well,
After a while, you get used to it.
if we're gonna talk about comedians, I'm gonna have to ask you if you've checked out that Bob
I
Saget
haven't-
stand up yet.
I have not gotten to it. I've thought about it a couple times, and I just haven't. I haven't been in the mood to do anything. Being sick, I watched wrestling with my son, so he kind of pushed me in the mood for that. And other than that, I haven't really wanted to do anything. I've been laying and dying, and so I don't like to listen or watch anything new when I do that. So I've been watching all old stuff that I've seen all of it. That way, I can go in and out of consciousness and not miss anything. That's how I do sick.
Yeah, no, I started getting real sick this weekend. And on Monday, which is the last day of my weekend now, I was like, I want to play a video game. I turned on my PlayStation. I just scrolled through my list of video games for like 4 hours. Like, I don't want to play any of this. But I want to do something. And YouTube sucks. I hate when YouTube goes days and days without anything good being on it. It's depressing. I want new content constantly. We do our share. We put out an episode a week.
Right? We put out 2 hours a week for everybody. And I don't know about you, but fucking Good Mythical Morning with their new system is just boring. I don't like their new setup. With the, what do they got, like 5 parts of an episode each day? It's been, it hasn't been enjoyable
Good Mythical
for
Morning,
me.
Good Mythical More, Good Mythical Crew, Good Mythical...
No, the show itself. It's Good Mythical Morning, like season whatever, episode 37.1, and then episode 37.2, and episode through like 37.5, and then they have Good Mythical More after that.
Really?
So they cut it. Yeah, you must not have watched it for like
I
6
noticed
months.
they pop up a lot. Well, I probably only watched the first part.
Yeah, and it's usually like, and none of it's like thematic. Like it's not like one theme that goes through them all. It's like just choppy and weird shit. It's I don't know. It's like 3 hours of
to their podcast Ear Biscuits though. That's pretty okay.
Oh, it is not good. Oh, do you liked it? I tried my
I like
ass
it more
off.
than a lot of podcasts I try.
I couldn't get into theirs.
It's hard to find something I'm actually willing to listen to.
I think for them I need the visual stimuli. I don't know. Something about that.
I don't know. I watched their episode on their theories about pets and dogs and like what would your dog name you? And then I listened to part of their episode on artificial intelligence taking over the world. Yeah. It hasn't completely disappointed me. There is a podcast that was done by a couple of the guys from Impractical Jokers, and it's fucking terrible.
Yeah, you just never know how it's gonna go, man. And there's there's an audience for
it's
everybody.
Q and Sal, and Q's like he's got a good sounding microphone, and he sounds good, and he's carrying the show. And Sal sounds like he's sitting across a large room with nothing on the walls because it echoes so much, and he's so far away from the microphone. It's bad. I'm like, you guys are the Impractical fucking Jokers. How does our podcast sound better than yours does?
Right. I think for me the best my favorite non-wrestling podcast is still Bill Burr's podcast that he does Monday and Thursday. I love it. But that's also one, I mean, he has to be your type. If that's not your style, you're gonna not enjoy it.
Right. I'm still searching the world, searching the waves, searching the waters. And if you're listening to the Beef Sticks podcast live right now, you can always contact me in the comments and tell me what I should be listening to.
You can do that. You can do all that and more.
I know Fat Mac would tell me I need to be listening to Fantastic Favors from Fat Mac every Friday from the freaking most fantabulous podcast company, entertainment mogul in the known universe, Cloud Style Broadcasting.
You effing A it is. Oh, speaking of that, what did The Miz have to say about LeVar Ball?
He said that he really respects the guy, and he does everything in his power to put over his kids, and that's a really good thing. He would have made a great manager back in the day. He actually didn't have a lot of negative things to say about it, which I was surprised about.
I wasn't too impressed with it.
Glossed over the issue.
The F word?
Yeah.
Or the N word? The N word.
Yeah.
Sorry. One of them words. A word.
I think I still got the button. I might have the button. If I have the button, I'll play the button.
Play the button.
Play the button. I might not have the button. I didn't like the button. Where's the button? Button. Who's got the button?
Yeah, that was a button. What was that button?
Nope. I got this one. Hey, hello! My favorite city.
You gotta love dating Wahoo.
Dayton hello!
You gotta love him.
Hello!
Anything else did he have to say about the ball boy?
That Lamar did a good job keeping his composure and everything. And he was very...
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And about that point, I tuned out because I'm like, oh my god, you're not even talking about the issue. You're just glossing over it like it never happened. Way to suck Vince's dick.
Holy buckets. Everybody just about seen me die. I took a drink of tea and immediately had to sneeze.
You should have did it all over the camera. That would have been great.
That would have been something, man. Oh my gosh. Woo, boy. Oh, hey. I don't believe that anybody could sing the way I do.
Yeah.
That was your cue, but that's all right.
Cue.
I'll take it.
I'm sorry. I'm here.
Elias, formerly Samson, sings Wonderwall from which group did you say?
Oasis.
Oasis. I was gonna say Offspring. Oasis. With fans at a house show. So that's kind of fun. And one of those things, you know, go to house shows because there's things that wrestlers can do on house shows that they just can't do on TV. Like, and that's one of them.
Speak without a script.
Yeah, exactly. Do moves that you'll never see them do on TV. Moves that Vince says they can't do on TV, they'll do there. You know, former signature moves or other things like that. And sing copyrighted songs to the audience.
Yes.
Because they don't have to pay any rights. I'm going to go grab some more tea real quick.
He was in the ring with the Good Brothers and Bo Dallas. And came out and did his usual, please be quiet while I sing you a song. And he was booed. And he was like, well, let's try something different. You guys know the song Wonderwall? Started playing it, actually playing well on the guitar, kind of, for once. Interesting. And, he'd start out the first couple of words and the crowd was singing it so loud, he just cut himself out and let them sing it while he played it. And then the second verse, he changed the lyrics about how the town he's in sucks and he wishes he could punch everybody in the nose. And maybe you should just walk with Elias. I dig the Elias character, and I'm currently in love with his t-shirt. The Walking with Elias World Tour. The shirt, it just looks so good and like vintage. I like it, and I want one. And
you know, I
kind of feel bad that would be the first
I'm still not
wrestling shirt I bought in my adult life, but I see something in Elias, and I think he'll be a good heel. And I could even see him going face. I don't know how you're gonna get the people behind him, but I could see him as a face and carrying, maybe not completely carrying the company, but doing good things.
No, but he could do face.
Doing good face things.
I'm not sold on him yet, but I think they can make him work. He's got a big enough body type so he can pull off the big stuff. He's got room to grow in his repertoire. He's gotten this gimmick pretty well over. I mean, I think most of the people are booing him for the right reasons at this point. And let me just say, they made him look awesome in the ring against Roman Reigns.
Yes,
I've seen so many people saying that Reigns buried another young and up-and-coming guy. Reigns fucking lifted him up. They elevated Elias Samson.
Dude, what was that electric chair drop, rotating power bomb, or whatever the fuck that was? That was insane. It looked cool.
He impressed the shit out of me, and I was watching it with my son, and I kept thinking, oh, it's over here with. They had him kick out of a Superman punch.
Yes, they did.
Not a lot of people get to do that nowadays. So that was kind of cool. That was pretty cool. They had him kick out of a Superman punch.
Yeah, that was a good match. And I thought it was going to be over quick, you know, and he held his own. I would actually like to see Samson take the title off of Roman.
Although I will say,
Won't happen.
Last week,
but I'd like to see.
He was like, I'm going to continue the open challenge that Cena did on the U.S. title. And then they didn't do that at all. He came out. Elias challenged him, like happens every week to any champ. Then they said, we'll wait and see what the commissioner says or the general manager says. And then they had like 3 matches, and then they had their match. I was like, that's not the open challenge. The open challenge is he stands in the ring, somebody comes out, and they fight.
Right.
So, Roman, you're doing it wrong. I don't know what you're trying to do, but you're doing it wrong.
Want to talk about doing it wrong? How about SmackDown Live doing it wrong? Daniel, I'm really pissed to see that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are still here. But I do like what you did with that putting Kevin Owens against Randy Orton tonight. But there are going to be some changes. First off, Sami Zayn, that little skipping Newsies boy, will be barred from ringside. And this match is now a no disqualification match.
Wait a second. If it's no disqualification, he can come to ringside and beat the fuck out of him and nothing will happen. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I hate when they do that.
Did you catch I think it might have been Corey Graves. But did you catch how somebody tried to cover it after Sami Zayn attacked him?
He wasn't at ringside.
That's what they said. They said, well, technically, he's on the ramp. He's not at ringside. Right. Number 1, shut the fuck up, because it's no DQ. Number 2, we all know what it means. It means they're supposed to stay in the fucking locker room until the match is over.
Right.
What do they got? Fucking basketball court lines written up now? Do they got paint on there? Fucking marking off where the 3-point and 2-point is and shit. This is ringside. This is ramp. This is entryway. Fuck you. God, that was just. They are. You know, some days I think
then
they're
that would make sense. That would be the same reason why Shane McMahon got to hit people with a chair. And as soon as the ref, or as that was over, the ref came and snatched it out of his hands. Like, you can't use that. Well,
right?
Why didn't you disqualify me?
Yeah. Oh, that was horrible. And by the way, speaking of the little skipping newsie, anybody else notice? I posted it on Beef Sticks, and I can't take credit for it. But WWE completely copied the part the Simpsons where Martin is skipping around Nelson singing like, "Oh, the ode to Nelson," after Nelson beat up some people for him and was protecting him. Totally, just go to our Facebook page and look at it. It shows the two of them. It shows the two of them. It's real time. And they just completely copied it. Just dead on. It's hilarious.
I almost think Vince had nothing to do with it, and I think that was all Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens.
I almost think that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens could be out of WWE this time next year. I don't know how long their contracts are, but man, they're not looking like they want to re-sign these guys. I don't know what they're going to do with them, but it doesn't look.
I think they could just be building them up as the guys to fight the power, and you need that. I'm hoping they don't get let go. I'm not ready to see Owens go by any means. Zayn, I guess. But I want Owens to be around for a long, long time.
Yeah, but see, like, when Stone Cold or NWO or any great, like, fight the power people were there, they fought the power and won multiple times over. The Horsemen were perfect of it. And then at the big things, they got their comeuppance. And these guys are just getting their comeuppance every fucking week.
I think it's just the start of the something. I don't know. It's good.
I hope it is.
I'm hoping so too.
Because I love KO in WWE. Sami Zayn still has a ways to go, but this is
they are
definitely
getting their comeuppance, but they still get a good deal of TV time.
Yeah, which is more than some people. I mean, I guess they're probably getting about as much TV time as the fashion police, but then again, I mean, that's awesome. Can't put a price on that. Oh, hey, Leo rushed out. Y'all remember I think it was last month already, Leo Rush posted some not so nice comments about our poor Emma. She
Poor
had gotten
boy,
released from her contract, and he had said something about, I guess you truly weren't ready for Asuka. Oh, excuse me, folks. And he got some heat for that. Well, recently I've seen everywhere, and I haven't even been on the internet much. Maybe I just caught it the right time on the right day. But everywhere, people posting that Lio Rush removes all WWE NXT references on all of his social media accounts. With that being said, his Twitter handle is not Lio Rush NXT or WWE. I don't know what it was, and I don't know if it ever was before that. But I do know the day they said that, I went and checked out his Twitter, and he had like 3 things on there promoting WWE NXT and stuff like that. According to most sources, he is still under contract, and it seems to be a whole lot of people trying to make smoke where there's no fire. I don't think this is anything.
So why
I
bring
don't think
it
it's
up?
anything. Because everybody's talking about it. I mean, we can let our listeners have their own opinion. I don't think it's anything, but maybe they do. Maybe they know something I don't know. Maybe they've seen something I don't see. I haven't put a lot of work into checking a lot of news out this week, but that one jumped out at me. And like I said, from what I can tell, it looks like a whole lot of smoke with no fire. But I mean, there is reason to believe with how he. I mean, after he said that about Emma, the social media went nuts on him, and it was a lot of his own peers. And we heard reports that backstage he had a lot of heat for that. So there is reason to believe he might be taking a back seat or getting pushed out, or
Yeah.
I don't buy it. I mean, you can have your own opinion also. I was just stating my opinion. That's my opinion, I guess.
All right.
One last news segment that I know about, and I'm gonna do a lot of reading, but this is basically Justin Barrasso, who's been bringing us a lot of news. He's been our right-hand man for Beef Sticks podcast. He doesn't legitimately hand it to me, but I find a lot of his reports, and they've seemed to be pretty good, most of them. Although he was the one talking about Nia Jax walking out. But there's still talk that she may have done that, and they came to terms. With that being said, it sounds like Neville's supposed to be returning pretty soon also, because he's been, I didn't have that down in news. I didn't think about it till just now, but I've read reports that Neville and WWE are talking and getting their ducks in a row, and he'll probably be returning to 205 Live pretty soon, with a chance of maybe getting to the main roster. So, anything can happen. But he, this episode of, or this interview that he had.
Why would you even stick him back on 205 Live? He's been gone long enough. I just put him right on the main roster.
I would also, but I don't know if they will. You never know. Especially with
okay,
Hideo and
here's
Tommy
what you need to
there.
do. This is exactly what you need to do, okay? And you need to do this from now to the end of time. Money in the Bank is going to be a both brands pay-per-view, correct?
Correct.
Money in the Bank usually has 6 men involved, correct?
Correct.
2 Raw, 2 Smack, 2 205 Live.
Maybe. I'd maybe go on a limb and say...
what title you're going after. It would be a good way for one person to potentially escape 205 Live a year. You know what I mean? Not that they'd win every year.
That, no. If you were going to do that, I'd do 1 205 Live and 1 NXT. 2 Raw, 2 SmackDown, 1 205 Live, 1 NXT. There isn't 2 people in 205 Live that they're going to push on a fucking pay-per-view in a main thing like that.
Yeah.
I don't think so. And it's a good way
Neville
to get...
I could definitely see Neville to win it in that case and then go to Raw. You know what I mean?
That would be really cool. I would love it. I think he'd be great. I think he can be a world champion. I have nothing but praises for him. Wherever he ends up. He is one of the most talented men in the wrestling world. That being said...
And Kalisto's done it before, and he could do it again. He could be the second guy for 205 Live. He's good in a ladder match. that
Right.
being the reason you would do it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I'd be okay with it. He is awesome in a ladder match. That's Lita del Sol that he did during that one. I don't even remember which one it was nowadays. I think it might have been at WrestleMania, but now I think maybe it was. Wasn't it the IC ladder match?
I think so, yeah. That's the
I
one
think it
where
was the
Zack Ryder
Intercontinental
won.
ladder match. What's that?
It was the one where Zack Ryder won it.
I that's what I'm thinking.
And then he
but now
lost
I'm
it.
thinking maybe not.
Wait.
I don't know. But anyways, he did an
don't know.
awesome Lita del Sol off the top of one onto a vertical or a horizontal facing one. It was really just beautiful.
It was.
Scary. When I seen it, I was just holding my breath. But Justin Barrasso interviewed Edge, and they were talking about the WWE show they used to have called Edge and Christian's Show of Awesomeness or something like that.
Yes.
Edge had this to say. He said, in terms of where we could have time to film it and fit it in, that is the big difficulty. The show was a lot of work, but we had a great time with it. We wrote it, produced it, directed it, and were really hands-on. There were 14-hour days, and it was pretty intensive from a time perspective. There are still talks, and they want to do it. If I can somehow cram it in, we'll make it happen. We have a hiatus on Vikings over the summer, so maybe I could squeeze it in there. But I want to spend time with my family too. It's a matter of trying to juggle all these things, but top priority being a dad and partner, and then comes the other things. I don't know what the fuck. Is he on a show called Vikings?
I guess. I've been hearing it a lot lately, and I haven't watched it.
I know the show, isn't it? Like on, yeah, it's on like Showtime or it's no, I think it's
History
on one
Channel.
of the basic cable. Yeah, is it?
Yeah, that's what it says up in your paragraph. Vikings premieres its 5th season tonight on the History Channel.
Well, there you go. I don't read what I wrote. I skimmed. I didn't even plug his show. Fuck. God, I'm a horrible host. I didn't even plug his show. To me, this is just a whole lot of words saying it's never gonna happen. That's kind of what I take out of it, but
yeah. I mean, it's okay. We had a good season, and I would hate to have them do a second season and have it tank, you know?
Right. I really enjoyed it. I do remember when it first got done, he was on a few different interviews where he had said it was much more work than he thought it was going to be, and he didn't enjoy doing it. So maybe looking back on it now, you know, he did enjoy it a little more than just after he had done doing the grueling schedule.
Right.
But with WWE cutting so many costs, remember they shot a pilot for a game show that fun. Who was going to be hosting that? One of the mid-carder guys, not Heath Slater. I don't remember. It was what I'm going to kick myself. But anyways, they had done a show. Maybe Xavier Woods, I think it was. They did they did a pilot for a show, but they never picked it up. I mean, that was WWE Network doing a pilot for their own network, and they didn't pick it up. But they're cutting costs left and right. There's no pyro. There's no this, that. James Ellsworth is gone.
It was Chris Jericho had a game show, or hosted a game show, the Match Game.
It wasn't him. I know it wasn't him. It was a mid-card guy. I don't remember who it was. It might have been Kofi Kingston or R-Truth. There you go. Now I just look like a racist. Like all the blacks are the same. It was Kofi Kingston or Xavier Woods. Oh, it was R-Truth. Fuck. Hey, speaking of that, I didn't even put it down in the news. If we're gonna talk racism, we're gonna go all out. Folks of the ruthless aggression era may remember that Chavo Guerrero had a character that he did called Kerwin White. Yes. Basically what it was Chavo was denouncing his Hispanic heritage and going completely Caucasian to the fact where he white-faced himself, like tons of powder, did I don't know if he dyed his hair blonde. I think he wore a blonde wig. He dressed in polo shirts, khaki shorts, and he drove a golf cart to the ring. He was on Chris Jericho's podcast not too long ago, and he had mentioned that at first when Vince brought it up to him, He was like, no, I don't like it. And of course, I mean, it's denouncing his heritage. Not that Vince cares, but
Right.
it's a big thing. But, you know, Vince kept trying to sell him on it. And finally, obviously, Chavo broke down and agreed to it because we got the character. But according to Chavo, he only agreed after he told Vince, if we're going to do this, we're going to go all the way. And this ends with me in a hood and a robe, implying that he was going to join the KKK as Kerwin White. And according to him, Vince loved it. Yes, I can see it now. In the time that he debuted that gimmick and that gimmick ended, apparently saner minds came to town and made sure that never happened, because that would be horrible. But that was the plan from the beginning for Kerwin White, at least according to Chavo Guerrero, was to go full Klansman mode.
That would have been something to see. It would have been horrible. But it would have been something to see.
Yeah, saner minds prevailed that day, I tell you what. Pasty, you got anything else for us, or do we want to go into tweet and the twat?
I don't know. Oh, I did want to make a point here. Chris Jericho did host a game show on ABC called Downfall.
Yeah, that was a non-WWE thing, right?
Right.
I'm sure he's a much better host than R-Truth also. And I'm an R-Truth fan, don't get me wrong. What's up? It's probably what the show was called, What's Up?
And all the contestants have to do is look up and tell them what's hanging above them.
Right. Could see one of them Japanese shows doing something like that. But it'd be like something like either really gross or really dangerous.
Yeah.
It could be a chandelier held by like a little bit of twine. Like, what's up? Oh shit! Crystal chandelier about to fall. Or you look up and it's like a bucket getting overrun with fish guts and it's just dripping on them. What's up? Oh shit, fish guts.
You ever watch
Japanese
Silent
game
Library?
shows are.
Granted,
actually,
not Japanese, but MTV.
You're gonna expect me to not have even have heard of it, but I do know what you're talking about, and that's because they actually did I think a couple shows
with
mid-card WWE guys. Yep. Yeah, and that's probably all I've seen. That was kind of entertaining, but I don't know that it would be an entertaining show without them. Like just normal people, because wasn't it just normal people normally?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fun show though.
Isn't it just something where they're all in a fake library and they gotta try to make the other team make noise?
No. They're all on the same team and they're trying not to make noise and get through the challenges without making too much noise. Every time you get through a challenge without making too much noise, you get money.
Oh no, my nose come off. Oh, damn it!
Most every round, everybody's safe and one person gets punished. Sometimes everybody gets punished except for one person.
Right. I did see the WWE ones. That's all I seen out of it, though. It was interesting.
It's fun.
It was interesting, yeah.
It's the Americanization of Japanese game shows.
That would be Wipeout.
That too.
All right, time on to our segment. I need drugs, man. Drugs and liquor. Time for the segment that we like to call To Tweet. We're gonna start it off with a couple sad tweets here. It's kind of I like to end on positive notes, so I kind of move these around and then try to set them up the way we want to do them. But the first one is a tweet by Drew McIntyre, basically just stating that he did get injured at NXT TakeOver. He says, I've dealt with setbacks before. The reality is I always come back better. There's a scary thought for whomever is NXT champion come 2018. So anybody that watched NXT, he got injured in a move going off the top rope. It is sad because he's a great athlete, and there goes Pasty White's 3-man band, at least for a while. But maybe he comes back and jumps right in with Jinder and Heath. And they can take on Elias and the Elias Taraj. This next one is actually
this
really
next one
sad.
to me it's sad, but the way you have it set up on the OneNote is funny because it looks like it's in response to his tweet, and like she's trying to one up him.
Let us know what she's saying.
It's Nia Jax tweeted, "I am subjected to body shaming, and it's something I have accepted. It sucks when you get it in your own backyard around people you're changing in front of and trust with your body. I am a healthy, bigger woman. I love my body. Body shaming is wrong." And reading that as a response to what Drew McIntyre posted is kind of
right.
It's hilarious to me. But as a whole, it is pretty sad. She should not be being body shamed. And if she is, she should be doing more backstage body slams and just knock them around a little bit.
Be stiffer in the ring. Fuck them up. Because, you know, I see it all the time. If you're on any wrestling forum, you can't get away from the just horrible shaming, slut shaming, body shaming, womanizing. Like, oh, I'd stick my dick in her mouth or whatever. Constantly. Fucking everywhere. And it's disgusting, and it makes you ashamed to be a wrestling fan, or at least a male wrestling fan. But the fact that coming from her own dressing room where they should all be professionals and they should all be bringing each other up, that's really sad. That is really sad. Oh, now we got a series of tweets from Cody Rhodes. The first one I'm going to talk about is actually very, very enlightening isn't the word I want to say. Inspiring. This came from Cody Rhodes, and it says, "We can't comment officially until we confirm the location, but we are far enough in the process to say it is happening. In 2018, we are swinging for the damn fences. Dare to dream." And this is about Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks planning a self-financed 10,000-seat event in 2018. 10,000-seat event, which is pretty huge in the indies. And it's no promotion. This is Cody Rhodes and the Young Bucks. Those three men. No promoter, no promotion. It's all their own money, all their own stuff that they're putting into it. Wow. That's fucking huge for any wrestlers.
Yeah, it is.
Holy shit. This is good for business. This is good for business.
Well, I mean, you got to look at it. They got money. They definitely, for being indie guys, they got money.
Yeah.
Young Bucks has outsold everybody at Hot Topic in shirts, including Rick and Morty, which is pretty insane.
Yep. And
at
Pro
about
Wrestling Tees
$25 a pop for a T-shirt, they've made approximately like $47 million or better than that this year. Which is insane.
Yeah, they're the top seller in pro wrestling tees as well, which is probably the biggest seller of pro wrestling tees. Outside of maybe WWE. WWE shop probably sells more, I will say that. Oh, no, I got nothing but love for them. We're going to continue down the Cody Rhodes trail.
I am surprised that Chris Jericho doesn't got dollars on this.
Well, he's running his cruise. That can't be cheap either, Loke.
I really want to do the cruise. I would
love to.
I really want to.
So Cody Rhodes has a response to the Osborne Axe, and I don't know who the Osborne Axe is, but that's me. Do you know who the Osborne Axe is, Pasty?
No.
Okay. So we don't know who this fucker is, but he posted at Cody Rhodes 10 years later, and you're in Ring of Honor. LOL. Basically saying, you started. Cody Rhodes, people may not remember, he started in WWE. He was never an indie guy, ever. He started in WWE, and they're basically saying it's a demotion. Like, you were in WWE, now you're in Ring of Honor. Cody Rhodes replied, add multimillionaire or world champ, or the fact that I'm wearing shoes that are worth more than your soul. Sit, stay, roll over, ho.
I love that he calls
I
him
don't
a
get
hoe.
that last bit. I don't know if it has something to do with the Osborne axe or if that's just Cody's response to people.
Yeah, I think
Sit,
that's just
stay, roll over,
calling
ho.
him a bitch.
I'm going to try to use that in this coming week.
That'll be a new Cody Rhodes t-shirt coming out pretty soon.
Right? Yeah, I mean, definitely. From everything we've heard, and just from the fact that they're going to be running their own show, he's doing at least as good, if not better, than most WWE guys right now. Now, I guess to comment on the tweet he had before about running a 10,000 seat show. Running a 10,000 seat show doesn't mean you're going to get 10,000 fans to pay.
It's you're hoping it.
That's yet to be determined. How many people will actually show up? How many people will pay? My guess is they're going to do fine, though. I think they're going to do fine.
WWE is going to host another Starrcade-esque house show in the same vicinity that day. Guarantee it.
Right? They probably will. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will just because it's Cody. I mean, they've done it for less things, like their Starrcade during WrestleCade and shit like that. Cody, again, responding to somebody asking if Cody Rhodes was going to be at Starrcade, he posted, "No, but my brother is wrestling, as well as Dilly and KO, all Dusty guys, rooting for them." I don't know who Dilly is. My guess is Dolph Ziggler. But I don't know who Dilly is. But anyways, Dilly and KO, we all know KO is Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens responded to him, "There is no bigger compliment than being deemed a dusty guy." A gusty guy. He's windy, I tell you. "There's no bigger compliment than being deemed a dusty guy by one of his sons. Thank you, buddy." You know what? After two tweet, I'm gonna look up Starrcade results because we should talk about that.
Yeah,
Some stuff happened. Some stuff happened. AJ Styles, talking about Starrcade, wrote, "As a Southern boy, I watched the first Starrcade. Last night, it was truly an honor to defend the WWE Championship at an event that means so much to this business. Greensboro, you were phenomenal." Good to see him show some love and be appreciative.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I want to call back to Survivor Series quickly, just because I'm sure Booker T heard back on this, but Booker T said, or they were talking about AJ Styles, and Booker T said, "Well, he is the Phenom." No, he's not. No, he's not.
That's the Undertaker.
He is
and
the
Goldberg.
phenomenal one. The Phenom is the Undertaker.
And Goldberg. They were both the Phenom in their respective companies.
Okay, but that company is dead now.
Yeah, you could tell by Starrcade. Oh, and our final one. AJ Styles is going to get to defend his championship at some other great events coming up this year. Last week, we talked about WWE's new pay-per-view schedule for 2018. Well, there is an update. Aiden English tweeted an update for the WWE pay-per-view schedule for 2018. The first match of the year, Pasty, is what? Oh, I caught you off guard. I'm sorry.
The Rusev Rumble.
The Rusev Rumble. I didn't know. I can't see you. I don't have your video. I don't know what you're doing. I don't know.
It's okay.
Rusev Rumble, followed by Rusev Lane. Then what do we got?
Rusev Mania.
Yes! That follows with Rusev Lash and Rusev in the Bank. That's one of my favorite pay-per-views of old. Rusev Ground follows that. What do we got then?
Rusev Slam.
After that, Rusev in a Cell as always, and finishing out the year,
Rusev Series.
You know what? These all already sound better than any 2017 pay-per-view. I'm gonna watch them all. I'm gonna watch them all.
I like the idea of Rusev in the Cell. They could just not have any other wrestlers there that night and suspend Rusev in a fucking shark cage.
It's just Rusev in a
over
cell.
a packed arena.
Yep, just Rusev in a cell. That's fucking all it is. That's all it is. That's all it was.
That's
Rusev in a cell.
postmodernistic art in the WWE.
Right? All right, do we want to start talking about Raw and SmackDown or Starrcade?
Well, we can talk about Starrcade. We kind of been highlighting Raw and SmackDown as we go anyway.
Sure. You have any thoughts coming out of Raw, or do you want me to run down the show? Or we didn't prepare, folks. We don't know what the fuck we're doing.
That's why it's Beef 6.
I barely got my ass out of bed to fucking get on here. It was hard to bring my head off the pillow and get in here.
Yeah.
I brought my blankie with though. I brought my blankie with. So this week's Raw was held at University of Tennessee in Knox County, Tennessee, the future home of Mayor McCain.
At this point, when he wins, I'm expecting him to wear the demon mask throughout his entire.
I want to see him come out and put his arms up in the air and then slam him down and pyro shooting up. That's what I want to see. That should be his acceptance.
Yep, you've been getting Corporate Kane the whole time, but as soon as he's elected, you get the Demon Kane, and he's gonna burn this county to the ground.
I want to see fucking Vince McMahon come from behind the curtain and be like, "It was me all along, Knox County." And now they got to fucking live
Kane,
under Vince McMahon.
Lay down and relinquish your marioncy to my wife.
Right?
And she pins him.
I like how you said, "Lay down for my wife."
Mm-hmm. Vince would do that shit too.
So as we said, Roman opened the show with an open challenge, which Elias accepted, but then they didn't wrestle until later in the match, which to me doesn't make an open challenge. But I don't know. That was me. It wasn't. I don't know. I thought Elias. I didn't like. Trying to remember here. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways, first match was Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. Sheamus is according to WWE on a Irish retreat, and Dean Ambrose is on his honeymoon. Apparently, him and help me, Pasty. His wife, him and his wife got married. I know her
they
name.
got married a while back, though, didn't they?
This is the first I ever heard about it, but it's very possible.
No, because they got married like right around Mania when John Cena proposed to Bella, and WWE wasn't very happy about it.
Yeah, Kevin Owens called her out, right?
Yeah.
Kevin Owens called her out back when there was a Talking Smack. God, that was a great show.
It was.
Well, they take their honeymoon on WWE's schedule, not on theirs. That's basically what it comes down to.
Right.
I don't know. It was a match. For these two, I thought it could have been way better.
Yeah.
But it was a match. Rollins did actually hit the Falcon Arrow, which he doesn't pull off all that often, so that was pretty cool to see. He doesn't bust out the Falcon Arrow that much nowadays. So that was cool. Seth Rollins ended up winning.
Of course.
Of course. He went to do a neutralizer, got hit with a super kick. It was good. It was good. It was a good match. These two could have done way better, but you know they're not gonna pull out their A material on Raw, so fuck it. Titus O'Neil jobbed to Samoa Joe the second week in a row for some reason. I don't know. You got anything to say about that?
No.
Titus Worldwide, folks. Titus Worldwide.
Worldwide. Losing worldwide.
Sasha Banks, Mickie James, and Bayley were set to face Paige, Mandy Rose, and Sonya Deville. They have a name now, Pasty. Did you hear that? They have a name now.
Yeah.
It is Absolution.
Yeah, there you go. I don't like it.
Which is, it's okay considering the whole fucking internet was fucking talking about how they were going to be called, or should be called, Team PMS with Paige, Mandy, and Sonya. So I'm glad, because I was worried WWE was going to do Team PMS. So I'm glad anything that isn't Team PMS, I am happy to see. That's what I want to
They
see.
couldn't do Team PMS. They had to change Team PCB.
I know they had PCB. That's why I was like, God, they're going to do PMS, aren't they? This was cool. Sasha Banks and Mickie James got the Mickie James and Bayley got the shit beat out of them beforehand by the three of them, and then they beat up Sasha Banks. It was good. It was good. They all hit their finisher. They all got on the mic. I thought Sonya sounded the roughest out of Mandy and Sonya.
Yeah.
But
Mandy,
I think
Mandy's finisher is pretty sweet. And for her being the blonde cheerleader of the bunch, no, she gets over pretty well.
I'm trying to think of whose finisher that is.
To be honest, though, I kind of worry. Because if she lost some weight, got a little bit taller, and you dyed her hair red, she would be Eva Marie. Look at facial-wise, they're exactly the same.
Let's hope they don't do that.
They're going to.
Her finisher it's a double underhook, and then she lifts them up into the air with their head down and their legs up, and then does a pancake or a face plant.
Yeah.
Trying to think of who else does that move. But that's what it is. It's good. It's good. I like it. I thought this was a good way of putting the three girls over. I had nothing wrong with it. I thought they would come up with a better name than Absolution, but they've had worse ones like PCB and they could have. They've had a PMS. It just sounds
like a stereotypical stable name, and that to me bothers me.
They are a fairly stereotypical stable that I don't see lasting even a year, so I'm okay with it.
Right.
I would be surprised if they're together in a year.
We have pledged our allegiance to Paige.
Then we had the breaking moment: Bray Wyatt versus Matt Hardy. In a pretty short match, actually. Bray Wyatt just took over Broken Matt, hit the sister Abigail, and that was when Matt kind of crawled in the corner and started doing the delete hand gestures.
It'll be great if Broken Matt does come to WWE and they use him like he was used in TNA, where they use their house for pre-taped things, because then you could have Finn Balor versus Sister Abigail and actually have something good come of it.
And make it look good, yeah. I agree. It'd have to be cinematic.
Yeah. And it would have to be done Matt Hardy's style. Because when WWE tried to do that, it didn't work out very well for them.
No, their house of, what was it, House of Pancakes
heads?
Or whatever it was?
The House of Baby Heads.
Yeah, it didn't work out well. Oh, next on the list, we're going to have two fatal four-ways, one this week, one next week, for number one contender to the Cruiserweight title. The Cruiserweights are just like the women. They don't have storylines for them. Just throw them in a four-way or a five-way. And that's it. I'm glad they brought these stables up for the women, because this whole year, I think the majority of women's matches have just been four ways and five ways. They don't have stories for them. They just throw them together and fuck around. And they did that here. It was Noam Dar versus Tozawa versus Rich Swann versus Arya Daivari. Arya almost made me think he was even going to win. I normally wouldn't even expect that he would. But he hit a big frog splash with nobody else around, and I thought he was going to win it. He did not. But Rich Swann won it with the Phoenix Splash. So that's pretty good. I like Rich Swann. I very much like Rich Swann. He's moving on. Next week we'll have another round, and we'll see who's going to Going to a 3-way at probably Royal Rumble, I guess. Or, no, Tournament of Champions. Or Clash of Champions. Clash of Champions.
Yeah.
Which, did we mention this last week, how redundant it is that they have a Clash of Champions after their last pay-per-view was literally a Clash of Champions?
Right, yeah. Yeah, no, I thought that was so dumb. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Just bad timing, really.
It really is.
Just bad timing.
Clash of Champions. Jinder Mahal doesn't have a fucking championship.
Yeah, it's literally just champions fighting the contenders like every other pay-per-view.
And no, the 205 Live Championship will not be defended on Clash of Champions because that's a SmackDown pay-per-view.
Oh, yeah, so it probably would be Royal Rumble. Yep. You're right. Roman Reigns versus Elias Sampson for the Intercontinental title.
Match of the night.
Like I said, God, I loved it. I was entertained. Still a lot of boos for Roman. The women
are getting behind him.
The women are, and they kind of always have been. And I think you hear it a little more because there's a few more men behind him also. But yeah, there's definitely a high-pitched, like, yay, and a low-pitched boo. I mean, you can very much tell the difference. You are correct.
Whereas when Elias gets booed, it's everybody.
It's everybody. I did not expect them to pull this match off. And like I said, multiple times I thought it was over. I never once thought that Elias was going to win.
Right.
But there was multiple times that I thought Reigns was going to win and they let Elias get away.
The good thing now is he could win at some point.
I think this really elevated him. I don't think this hurt Elias at all. I think it really elevated him and helped. Oh, we had Asuka beat Brooke in seconds. Dana Brooke in seconds. Hit her with the Asuka lock. I seen some reports out there. This is the quickest submission victory in Raw history. This is the quickest women's victory, I believe, in Raw history. And I think there was one other thing. Maybe just the quickest fucking match. I don't know. It was just, I mean, she literally ran in there, threw Dana Brooke in an Asuka lock, and Dana tapped.
Which is sad, because when Dana came up to Raw, I'm like, as soon as she gets out from behind Charlotte, she's going to be the top. Nope.
And then, Charlotte got injured, and they ended up pairing her with fucking, who did they pair her with? Was that Emma? It was Emma.
Yeah.
And yeah, look what happened there. Dana Brooke, I seen premising. She was super green. She wasn't great, and she's not a great talker. But she has the look. She has the body, and she looked like physique, she had the drive.
The attitude. She could do it. Now I just feel like she's becoming Natalya.
And she may, but you need them also. You do need mid-carders. It's true.
It is.
I was thinking of this just the other day. I think yesterday. Isn't it sad that, like, when I think of NXT, I'm sitting here like, God, what woman could fight for the NXT title next? What woman's going to hold the NXT title? Like, it seems like, man, some woman's going to get the NXT title. Some women are never going to get it, and they're going to go up to Raw. And then you're on Raw or SmackDown, and you pretty much assume almost every woman on there is going to win the title at some point.
Yeah.
Like, they just hot potato that title. I mean, everybody has had it, and everybody will. It's pathetic that their show that's supposed to be like their C show has more respect for their championships than anything else. We had Jason Jordan, who is obviously turning heel against Knoxville's baby boy, Kane. Basically, Kane... what did Kane do did he do something to his knee, or did Jason Jordan just start selling the knee?
They were outside the ring, and I don't remember exactly what Kane did, but yeah, Jason Jordan ended up taking a knee injury and leaving the match.
Yeah, after he said he was perfectly fine. I mean, they're really playing him up as a heel. He's like, yeah, I can take on anybody, I can do anything. I'm not playing up this injury. Oh, I'm hurt. I gotta go. I mean, they're making him heel, I think, faster than they originally planned on it.
Yeah.
But I think it's because the storyline tanked so fast. After that, Finn Balor's music hit. And I was like, okay, they're finally going to do something. Because if you remember, Finn Balor has just been beat up by Kane for no reason. Multiple Raws in a row. Never done anything.
It's because
like
Finn Balor has the gall to be a demon. You can't be a demon when the devil's favorite demon is still around.
So Finn Balor came for a match again, and he kind of just got the shit beat out of him by Kane. Now, that being said, Kane did start using a chair and got DQ'd, so Finn Balor technically won, but he just looked weak through the whole thing. It was just super sad. And then Braun Strowman came out, and he fucking started beating up Kane, and it made Strowman look strong, but you didn't need the Finn Balor in the middle of that. I mean, all it did was make Finn Balor look weak. It's like they literally said, we need to make somebody look weak. Who can we put in here? Or something. It went from Jason Jordan to Finn Balor to Braun Strowman. And you didn't need Finn Balor in the middle. It could have went from Jason Jordan to Braun Strowman.
My question here is this going to lead to a fatal 4-way at the Royal Rumble? Or is this just going to be a story that plays out within the Rumble?
I think it's Kane and Braun. I think they're going to have a match. I do not see Finn Balor getting any of that.
I would rather see them in the Rumble fighting each other and winning. Braun should win it.
Win the Rumble?
Yeah.
Well, that's not happening.
Why not?
Main event WrestleMania?
Yeah. Actually put on a good match with Brock Lesnar.
He's not going to. It's going to be Reigns Lesnar, and Reigns is going to win the title, and that's okay.
No, Reigns is the IC champion.
I think we just have to assume that.
Reigns will not be the undisputed Universal Champion. He can't have both championships. Don't do that to me. I like where Reigns is at right now.
Not Lesnar. Yeah, Lesnar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna beat Lesnar.
I don't want Reigns to have both titles.
What both titles? The IC and that?
Yeah.
Oh, he's not gonna. He's got this open challenge. He'll lose it before then.
I don't know.
I don't think they're gonna pull.
In order to make him look strong enough that he could take it off of Brock, I think he needs to be holding it when he fights Brock. That's the problem.
I don't think they're going to do that. I see he can easily lose it in the open challenge because anybody can come and it can be anything. Maybe not so much the way they're doing it now, but if they actually did it the correct way. I don't know. They could do Hogan Warrior again and try to relive it with Roman, but I think that's wrong.
Well, they're making such a big deal out of him being a Grand Slam champion.
Which Dean has been a long time ago, so it's not really that big of a deal.
Right.
And so has multiple people. And quite frankly, with the brand split, none of them are Grand Slam champions because they haven't held both tag titles and both world championships. They've held one of each. Those fuckers. Oh, but I think a SmackDown guy is gonna win the Rumble. Love for it to be Balor and take on AJ. I don't think that's gonna happen the way they've been booking Balor.
If you win the Rumble, can you say who you want to fight in the main event? Champion-wise?
We don't know. They make up rules as they go. We don't know that yet. I
they
think
need to do more of that with the Money in the Bank and everything. Like, that's what those things need to be used for, is to be able to transfer brands without having to have some kind of a draft or just a trade.
Right. Yeah, but that kind of thins out the whole brand split even more.
And bring back the
doesn't
King
it?
of the Ring, and the King of the Ring is the only guy who can be on both shows at the same time. Do that.
You gonna have John Cena win the King of the Ring every year?
I couldn't even see John Cena as King of the Ring.
Right. I think that's a step down for him at this point in his career.
Right. Not with the way that the King of the Ring has gone the last couple of times with King Booker. And then King Leader of the Nexus, Barrett.
King Kong.
King Barrett.
King Barrett. Wasn't there a King Sheamus?
Yes, there was a King
Sheamus.
Sheamus. So it'll be King Neville?
King Neville. King Neville. Oh, SmackDown. No. We've seen Benjamin and Gable take on the New Day.
King Nakamura. That's what it's got to be.
What's that?
King Nakamura.
King Nakamura. That's just one more title they could call him.
Right.
The artist.
He's the artist king. Formerly known as Nakamura. Shinsuke.
The artist king. I could see them doing that. Oh, SmackDown. Benjamin Gable versus the New Day. It was an alright match. About what I expected from these two. New Day always gives you a good show. New Day won.
Of course,
it was okay.
They did.
Yeah, it was okay. I didn't mind it. Bludgeon Brothers came out versus the Hype Bros and beat the Hype Bros pretty quickly. And then
the Hype
Mojo
Bros
turned on
no more.
Yeah. And Mojo, man, I don't know. I just was not buying him in this moment. Backstage, when he did his interview afterwards, I thought he was on fire. I loved it. I thought it was great. In the ring, when he was doing it, I was like, oh my God, this is like watching a high school play. It is so fucking fake. It was just, I was not buying it at all. But afterwards, I give him credit. Afterwards, backstage, when they had his interview, I loved it. I thought he did awesome. So, I mean, this is the best thing for either of these two guys. These two guys are never going to get anywhere.
Right.
Let's be honest.
Now Zack Ryder can have a whole bunch of matches with Dolph Ziggler for the rest of eternity.
You know, we talked about the Bludgeon Brothers a little bit, but can I say I don't like their finisher?
I'm not even 100% certain I caught it.
Their finisher, they've done it both weeks now. It's basically each of the guys picks the one guy up from his armpit, and then they throw him down on the mat. They basically just pick him up and throw him down. I mean, it's two of them, but it's two of them just holding him by the arms, so it's not... I mean, if it was like a double choke slam,
it would hurt
like
less
Chronic
for the guy than if it was just one guy doing it.
Yeah, if it was a double choke slam like Chronic used to do, I loved Chronic back in the day. That was Bryan Adams and Brian Clark.
Right.
And they did a double choke slam, and I really enjoyed that. But this, I don't like this. I hope they come up with something better. What else was there? AJ Styles versus the Singh brothers. In a handicap match. The modern day Maharaja attacked AJ Styles before the bell. Whooped his ass. We did get to see an Avalanche Styles clash, though.
Yes.
AJ Styles was up on the turnbuckle. One of the brothers. Here I'm getting racist again. I don't know the two apart. Went to do a Hurricane Rana on him. AJ caught him, turned it into a Styles clash from the second rope onto the other Singh brother.
That was pretty cool.
I thought that was an impressive finisher for such a throwaway match. But, you know...
That just goes to show what kind of a guy AJ is. Like, he's willing to put over a tag team who's never going to be in the tag team division. You know what I mean?
Right? That, and with AJ Styles, I mean, he's a head guy. We already know that. He's not falling down anytime soon. He's not going to be wrestling a lot of smaller guys. He's going to be wrestling a lot of bigger guys. So when he gets a chance to pull out some of these moves, I think he just takes the chance. Like, he's wrestling two smaller guys here that he can do that with. He can't do that with fucking Braun Strowman. He can't do that with Kevin Owens. He can't do that with Brock Lesnar. It's like, now's the time to do it if you're going to show it at all.
Right. And that's good on AJ, man. He's always out to make everything he does good.
Yeah, he just wants to elevate the whole show every time. Then after this, we've seen another kind of turn. Now, we don't know where this is going. I don't know if this is a 1 week thing or what, but Jinder Mahal just beat the shit out of the Singhs. He gave a coloss to, I think, both of them, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He colossed both of them. So I don't know if, next week they're going to be back sucking his dick or if he's done with them. I don't know.
I think they'll probably be back sucking his dick until he goes up against AJ, and then they'll turn on him in that match and walk away.
That could be good.
He'll keep punishing them and being rude to them and shit until then, of course.
Or maybe they won't even turn on him, but he'll have something planned and he wants them to interfere, and then they'll just jump off the apron and and walk away. That would be good. Then we've seen the other 3 women group, the carbon copy of the Absolution, and they are called the Riot Squad, which I like this name. Riot Squad just sounds cool. I mean, it does kind of sound... I mean, when I picture the Riot Squad, I picture the Shield. But, but I like the name. It sounds tough. It sounds rough. WWE added a T to Ruby Riot's name for some reason. I guess so they can own the name. So it's RIOTT Squad. But that's okay. They went out. They didn't copy Raw, to where they went out and faced all 3 of the women they were supposed to face. I expected them to beat them up in the back ahead of time. I thought it was going to be Flair in the ring, just like Sasha, and then Naomi and Natalya beat up in the back, just like they did on Raw.
Mm-hmm.
But they didn't do that. Oh, excuse me, folks. Woo. I apologize to all of you. If I seen it coming, I would have muted the mic. Oh my gosh. But they looked pretty strong, I thought. They went in there, they had a pretty strong back and forth match. It was actually a really good match as far as 6-man tags go. And the Riot Squad ended up winning. Now, what happened was they took out, was it Natalya? I want to say they took out Natalya. No, they took out Naomi early. Who did they take out early? Natalya left. That's right.
Yeah.
Am I right, Pasty?
Yeah, you're right.
Natalya ended up walking out. She's like, fuck this, which makes sense. She's the heel. She walked out. So then it was kind of 2 against 3. And Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan double-teamed Naomi on the outside of the ring and kind of took her out. And then they all beat the shit out of Flair and Ruby Riott. She hit the wrist lock attack that she has on Charlotte Flair and won it. They even went as far as to sell Naomi's injuries, and they had medics come out and put her on a stretcher and all that. Again, I think this makes the girls look really strong. I think,
yes,
at least in the first couple weeks, they're pushing these girls right. Both Raw and SmackDown.
Making them just different enough.
Yeah, they could do better at making them more different, but I like that they're making them strong and making them seem like legitimate threats. All right. Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton in a no disqualification match where Sami Zayn is barred from the ringside. This was an okay match. I don't know, when the hell did Randy Orton get that haircut? I didn't notice it till this week, and I don't like it.
It's not even necessarily a haircut. He's just been letting it grow, is what's going on.
Well, he's letting
there.
It grow on the
On
top,
the top,
but he still has the side and back completely shaved. It's,
it
looks like John Cena when he first came in, like a
3 weeks ago when I noticed it. I turned to Kirsten. I'm like, holy shit! In a couple of months, he's gonna have hair like mine.
Yeah, I didn't notice it, and I don't like it on him. For some reason, something just doesn't look on him,
It's
but
different.
it's different.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, it's different. That's not a bad thing. It's good to stay fresh, and even just small things like changing your hair up can do that.
Yeah, and I mean, we noticed, so
Yeah, yeah. This was a good back and forth match, actually. Um, it it wasn't. I didn't love it, but Orton kind of stayed on the offense most of the time, and Owens was on the defense. Ran through the crowd, went up to the entryway, and that's when I looked at my son and said, "Phantom, Sami Zayn's coming out right now." And no more did I say that, and Sami Zayn came out, hit Owens with a chair, or hit Orton, sorry, with a chair. As we said before, I think Corey Graves is like, "Well, he's not ringside. Doesn't matter. It's fucking no DQ. What the fuck are you gonna do? DQ him?"
next week, Sami Zayn will be in a no disqualification match, and Kevin Owens will be banned from the arena, and he'll show up in some outlandish costume.
Right. One thing I did like was Owens won this match after his frog splash, which I don't think since coming to the main roster, I can't think of a time that he's won using the frog splash. It's almost always the pop-up power bomb.
Right.
So that was kind of cool, especially on, I mean, I'm not an Orton fan, but he's a big name. The thing that makes me
sad is, like, Kevin Owens on his own could beat Randy Orton in a no disqualification match, no problem. But now that he's with Sami Zayn, all of a sudden he needs Sami Zayn to win. Like, that bothers me a little bit. It was the same when he was with Jericho. Like, he could handle that shit on his own.
Yeah, but to be fair, I think ever since he's been on the main roster, they've always had him rely on somebody else. He was relying on Kane and Triple H and for a while there, and like you said, then he was relying on Jericho, and it's kind of ever since he's come to the main roster, they've never let him just and I mean it makes for a good heel,
right?
But I can't really think of a program, an extended program he did where he was solo, really, and winning matches. I cannot, which kind of bothers me because that makes me think of Triple H. If you look back at Triple H's career, and I've talked about this many times to you, Pasty, and I think I've mentioned it on the show a handful of times. I mean, his whole career, Triple H has never been solo, and the few little spurts that he has solo are some of the worst in his career and really are forgettable. People don't remember them.
Mm-hmm.
He's just always he's always had to have somebody else. And I guess that maybe in itself isn't horrible. I mean, Triple H made it into a damn good career. You can look at, if you want to go old school, Arn Anderson basically made his career in being a tag guy with multiple different people. Today's roster, you can look at Kofi Kingston. The one time he almost had a solo run was when he was feuding with Randy Orton. And that all went to shit when he fucked up a spot up by Randy Orton, and then Randy Orton buried him after screaming fuck multiple times on live TV. And Kofi never again got a singles push. But he was, he was with Air Boom. Do you remember that? Mm-hmm. Air Boom was with, I just think of Matt Sydal. Yeah, no. Matt Sydal on the Indies. Evan Bourne in WWE. So yeah, he was with Evan Bourne, and he was Air Boom, and he was with R-Truth for a while. Then he was with I don't know, New Day. anything he's ever done big has been basically tag team.
Or in
except
the
for that
Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I mean he's there, and I don't take this the wrong way because I don't mean this racist. He was their spot monkey. He was always their spot, where he would go out there and do that. Their spot. We remember him doing the stilts with the ladder. We remember him jumping from the barricade into the ring. The one time he fell into the Rosebud's arms, he had to have loved that one. That was the easiest one he ever did.
Didn't he walk on his hands once too?
Yep, he did the handstand. You're right. God, You know, it would have been so easy to fuck that up. He's so lucky that none of them times did he just mess up a little bit.
Right. It would have completely killed it forever. I mean, he doesn't really do it anymore. Maybe he'll do it this year.
So we got 10 minutes. Can we break down Starrcade a little bit?
Yeah, let's talk about some Starkizzo.
Here's some of the bigger stuff. Bobby Roode faced Dolph Ziggler. Arn Anderson was the special enforcer, and Arn Anderson actually hit his patented double A spine buster on Dolph Ziggler during the match, and then Roode got the win after a glorious DDT. Good for Arn. Good for Arn. I was just talking about him.
It just makes me so mad that they're never going to put it on the network.
No. And you know what? I don't know if a lot of people know this. Arn Anderson has been a part of the wrestling business for going on, I think, over 30 years now.
Yeah.
He's never been out of it. He's been part of the backstage process, a pivotal part of the backstage process in WWE ever since WCW ended. I mean, he is huge backstage with training, with storylines, with gorilla position. I mean, he's not just a guy you see in the back every now and then. He works 5 days a week, WWE, on the road with them. Badass. I mean, Arn Anderson, Starrcade, they go together. Just like Flair, Starrcade, Dusty Starrcade. We had a nothing match. Bludgeon Brothers, Mike Kanellis, and the Colognes, and Rusev. They beat Breezango, Sin Cara, The Ascension, and Ty Dillinger. Bludgeon Brothers ended up hitting their finisher for the win.
That's probably who Cody meant by Dilly.
Dillinger?
Yeah.
Could have been, you're right. Yeah, Ty Dillinger. Could have been. Naomi defeated Tamina. The Natural, Dustin Rhodes. I don't know how many folks here remember the old NWA, WCW days from the 80s and 90s, but The Natural, Dustin Rhodes came out. Gold Dust did not wrestle. Dustin Rhodes came out to his old The Natural music, and he beat Dash Wilder. That's cool. It was cool that they let him come out to his The Natural song. Afterwards, he did a interview where he's like, yeah, I even came out to my really crappy old music, which it is pretty bad music, but nostalgia, folks. Nostalgia. Right. For one night. Oh, excuse me. U.S. title match. Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Baron Corbin, but by DQ, so Baron Corbin kept the belt. I would have loved to see this match. All I know is that Baron Corbin ended up using a steel chair in the match. But looking at what Corbin's been doing lately, I think, especially at a house show, I think he would have pulled all stops, and I think Nakamura would have made him look good, and I think this would have been a good match. No thoughts on Corbin Nakamura?
I would have liked to see it. I'll never see it, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and there's like a few different spots that are on YouTube and social media, which are kind of fan videos, just short little things.
You would think that when it was announced so far in advance that it wasn't going to be televised or on anything, you would have thought a whole group of fans would have caught like the glasses with the camera in it or whatever, and did their own recording of it. I mean, I know. So. Oh, you could probably record it with your fucking cell phones. I'm sure they don't say you can't record anything with your cell phones because that'd be stupid.
Right. Hardy Boys came out and they brought out the Rock and Roll Express. They had a little video tribute to the Hall of Fame team. From what I've heard, it was a really good tribute video. Hopefully, maybe they just throw that in a little thing on the network somewhere or something. New Day came out after that, and the three teams ended up dancing in the middle of the ring. That is, I know, on YouTube.
Yeah.
So you can find that. It's not that enjoyable, but whatever. Four-way tag team championship match. The Usos.
Nothing makes people dance like a trombone, I tell you.
Apparently not, and I never thought a trombone would make me dance before. But man, if it don't nowadays.
Playing the same note in a series of 3.
Yep, I'm just changing it up between 3s. Usos, they retain their championship against the New Day, Gable and Benjamin, and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in a fatal 4-way tag match. I'm not big on fatal 4-way tag matches unless they're Texas Tornado style, but I mean, all 4 of those teams are good teams. It was probably good. Again, we'll never know. Next one, Ric Flair came out and introduced Charlotte. And she had a steel cage match where she beat Natalya with a figure 8. She made Natalya tap. I think these two could have a good steel cage match. I haven't heard anything about it, but I hope they let him bleed, because I'll be damned if Ric Flair didn't bleed his ass off in every cage match he was ever in.
Right.
Damn it, she has to bleed.
She could have bladed. It wasn't on TV.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man. It wasn't on TV. Fuck it. And then, since you can't get rid of a cage once it's put down without a lot of fucking work, they decided to let AJ and Jinder wrestle in the cage as well. AJ Styles retained his title by escaping the cage. As you've mentioned in the past, Pasty, escaping the cage is usually saved for the heels.
Yes.
So it'd be neat to see what transpired here. Again, maybe we'll never know.
I know there was a lot of rumblings on the internet about how it was kind of a foreshadowing that Jinder is going to be winning the title back from him at Clash of Champions. So I'd assume Jinder was pretty dominant, and that forced AJ to have to kind of tuck tail and run.
See, when they first took the title off Jinder, I was the first one to say, he's getting it back for the Indian tour. But after all the numbers and after what we've seen from Jinder and what we've seen since then, I think it's going to be a long time until Jinder gets the title again. I don't think they're willing to go down that road.
Bring the band back. Let's do it.
I could see that before him getting the title again.
I want it. With the Shield and the New Day and the teams of 3. Do it. And do it right.
That's better than doing it wrong.
Yeah.
So that was your Starrcade also. We got Raw, SmackDown, and Starrcade in. Yay.
Yeah. Steve's next podcast, we do it when we're sick.
We do. I'm about ready to call it a night, though. I don't know about you, Pasty.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I need to go blow my nozzle.
I need to die. But definitely take some more cold pills and get some more tea. Well, we appreciate you all putting up with all our different weird sounds and crap that we've been doing throughout the night.
Thank you for joining us.
We know it was gross, but we thought better than missing out.
Yeah, we try our hardest not to miss a week. We may have missed 1 week, I think, at some point.
We may have, we may not have. I'm honestly not sure, but.
And I don't count the episode that doesn't exist as missing a week, because we were there and we fucking did it.
We had a good show. I agree with you on that. Oh, with that, I am the sick Fat Mac.
And I am the Pasty White Red Nose. Fuck. I hate.
You best believe we will still see you next week.
Yes, we will. And we will hopefully feel much, much better. And be more drunk. More drunk.
Hopefully. We hope for more drunk. All right. Good night.
Thank you. Spank you. And see you next week.